They thought they could steal his land, build 35 homes and get away with it. But what the HOA didn't know was that he controlled the dam upstream, and when he opened it, their dream community was washed away overnight. For generations, Elijah Moore's family owned nearly 300 acres of fertile land. His grandfather farmed it. His father ran cattle across its fields. For Elijah, it wasn't just land, it was memory, sacrifice, and freedom rolled into one. But as suburbs crept closer, his land became the HOA's dream target. They saw open pastures, wide space, and dollar signs. What Elijah saw was his family's blood and sweat. It started with letters. The HOA claimed parts of Elijah's land were unused and should be converted for community benefit. He ignored them. His land wasn't under their jurisdiction. But then surveyors appeared, trucks parked by his fields, and one morning Elijah stood at his fence line staring at bulldozers carving trenches where his cattle once grazed. The HOA had sold parcels of his land he never signed over, and by the time Elijah could react, 35 homes were already being built on his soil. Elijah fought. He took documents to the county office, but corrupt officials looked the other way. He demanded answers from the HOA president, Margaret Dorsey, who smirked and said, "Progress can't wait for the past." The barn his father built was torn down without warning. The fields his grandfather plowed were paved with concrete. In just months, Elijah's heritage was swallowed by cul-de-sacs and manicured lawns. But while the HOA celebrated, Elijah studied. He knew something they had overlooked, something that would become their downfall. Decades earlier, the county built a dam to create Willow Creek Lake, the centerpiece of the new resort town. But the river feeding it ran through Elijah's land, and the dam's main floodgates rested on property still legally under his control. While the HOA built homes without permission, they ignored the legal easements. Elijah never forgot. He still had full authority to operate the dam. And when the rains came heavy one spring, Elijah saw his moment. Late at night, Elijah walked to the dam, his hands wrapped around the cold iron wheel. For a long moment he stood there, remembering his father's barn, his grandfather's calloused hands. Then he turned. The gates groaned open. A roar of water burst free, surging down the channel. By dawn, the creek overflowed. By noon, water rushed into the brand-new neighborhood. 35 homes built on stolen land stood knee-deep in muddy water. Lawns washed away, cars floated, families evacuated. And Margaret Dorsey? She stood on her porch screaming as her HOA's empire drowned. The disaster made headlines. Homeowners demanded refunds, lawsuits piled high. Insurance companies refused payouts once they discovered the homes had been built on disputed land. The HOA tried to blame Elijah, but the truth surfaced. He hadn't broken the law, he had simply opened the floodgates he had every right to control. The county confirmed it. Elijah's dam rights were untouched. The HOA had gambled with land they didn't own, and they lost. But Elijah didn't rebuild. Instead, he donated the flooded land to an environmental trust. The area became protected wetlands, ensuring the HOA could never rebuild. The 35 homes were condemned. The resort's lake levels dropped permanently, and where the HOA once dreamed of profits, nature reclaimed its throne. Elijah's family barn was gone, but in its place he created something lasting, not just revenge, but legacy. Sometimes justice doesn't come from courtrooms. Sometimes it comes from patience, knowledge, and the land itself. The HOA thought they could erase Elijah's heritage. Instead, he erased their future. All it took was one turn of the valve. If someone stole your land to build their dream homes, would you fight in court or let nature itself deliver justice?